Welcome back everyone. So today we are going to learn about the multi-level inheritance, as you can see over here. So that's the topic that we are going to cover today. So multi-level inheritance in Java made easy, connecting classes step by step. So we are going to understand the concept through the real world analogies, map the structure to Java code using the extends keyword, and trace how data flows down the inheritance chain. So what exactly is multi-level inheritance? So we have a class A over here. That's a single inheritance because we have a class B that has been derived from class A, or I can say that it has been inherited from class A. Now that's a single inheritance. But this is multi-level inheritance. What happens is we have class B which has been derived from class A, but then again we can derive C from the class B. So for class C, class B is the parent class, and for class B, class A is the parent class. Okay, so this is multi-level inheritance. So a class can inherit from another class which inherits from a third class. This creates a continuous vertical chain of classes. So it can go on class A, B, C, D, E and so on. Okay, so it creates that chain. The middle class acts as both a child and a parent simultaneously. So the middle class is this, it acts as a parent also and as a child also. Why? Because it's a child to A, but it is a parent to C. Okay. So the family tree analogy. So here is, think of the top class as a grandparent passing down a trait, means the properties. So passes down the eye color to the child. The middle class is the parent adding a new trait and passing both down. So the middle class had added more traits, that is additional property, and that is passes down hair color. Okay, and then this eye color and the hair color will be passed down to the class that is a child class. So the both class, the bottom class is the child inheriting everything from above. So this bottom class is inheriting the hair color also and the eye color as well. So whatever class A, let us call this as a class A, whatever properties are there, it will come into the next class. Let us call this as class B, and then whatever B has, that will be carried forward to class C. So C will have everything that B has and A has, that is a parent and the grandparent. Okay, so this is called as multi-level inheritance. Designing our class, that is the student blueprint. Now person is our top class. So what we are going to do is we are going to implement the program. Let us call the first class, that is the person class. That is the top class, introducing a name, and it has one attribute, that is name. Then from the person we are going to inherit student. So student extends person, adding test marks. So this is the marks. This is the property of student, but since student has been inherited from person, so obviously it also has name. Okay, then graduate student extends student, adding a specialization. So if a student is a graduate student, so obviously he's doing some kind of specialization after that. So he's adding the additional attribute, that is specialization. But please note, graduate student will have marks and also will have name. So whatever person and the student, all the attributes will be carried into graduate student. And this is what you need to understand. How properties accumulate step by step. This is very important to understand. Creating a graduate student does not just create one variable, that is specialization. What it does, it reaches up the chain and collects all the ancestors variable. So it will carry the marks also, it will carry the name also. This is what it is trying to say. The bottom object becomes a container for everything above it. Understand it? So it kind of becomes a container which will have all the properties from the top class. Okay? No duplicate code was typed, but all the three variables exist. So it will have name, marks, and specialization. And this is what is very important to understand in multi-level inheritance. Bringing the bottom class to life, we open our main program execution method. We create a single object of the bottom, that is graduate student class. Okay, and what is going to happen in the memory? The system instantly allocates memory for all three inherited traits. So what is going to be there in the memory? In the memory, there will be the name, there will be the marks, and there will be the specialization. So all three variables will be there in the memory when we create an object of class graduate student, which is the bottom class. Okay, so important rules of the chain. Please understand, Java allows the chain to be as long as you need. So as I said, we have B from A, again from C to, we have it from B, and then we have D from C. So the chain can go on. There is no limit to that. Then a class can only extend exactly one parent class directly. Okay. Private variables in the parent classes cannot be accessed by the child. Okay. Child class, and this is what we are going to see in the future. In the upcoming videos, I'm going to talk about this. Constructors execute from the top down, that is grandparent, then parent, and then child. This is the topic which I will be covering in the next video. But today we are just understanding what exactly is multi-level inheritance. Now what we are going to do is, now I have more examples over here, but we will be switching to the VS Code. Let us go to the VS Code and let us implement the same program. That is, I will create a new file, name this file as, that is person.java, and I'm going to save it in the Java folder. So here it is. Now here we are. This is person.java. Let us create the class. So class person, and then we have the entire code by the Copilot, but we don't require all this. So I'm just going to declare one variable, which is going to be the object variable. So the object variable will be, that is string name. That's it. Okay, string name and nothing else. Because we are going to keep this very short. Obviously we can have the constructors, we can have the methods, but not in this example and not in today's video. So that's it. So this is going to have only name. Then I'm going to create another file. So let me create a new file, and that will be student.java, right? And I'm going to save it, and here it is. So this is student.java. So I'm going to say class student, and then student is going to have int marks. That is the object variable for student. But we forgot something, that is student, it extends the person. Okay, so student is been inherited from the class person, and since it has been inherited from person, it will also have name over here, but that is invisible. Okay, let me just save this, and then let us create the third file. Okay, let us create the third file, that is graduate student dot, okay, just a minute, I need to give a proper extension, that is .java, and That's it. Okay. So we have another class that is graduate student. So I will say class that is graduate student, and can you see it has already taken that is graduate student extends student, and this is going to have that is specialization. So specialization, okay, and that's it. So it is going to have a specialization, right? Now let me just save this. So here it is, we have person which has name, we have student which has been inherited from person, it has marks, and then the graduate student that has been inherited from student. So now if I go ahead and I will create the main file. Okay, let me just create the main file, and over here I will simply say class main, and then I will say, okay, it is already showing me the code, and here we go. Okay, so you can see I created just one object, that is grad student is equal to graduate student, right? So we created the object grad student over here, and since this has been inherited from student, so we have the access to marks, and since student has been inherited from the person, we also have access to the name, and this is so important to understand. And then specialization, it's its own object variable that we have given as computer science, and then we are simply printing the values over here. Okay, so this is very, very important to understand. So what I want you to do is, please go ahead, implement this program, run this program, and see the output. And if you really feel that I'm giving you some really good knowledge, then I would appreciate to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.